Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings, and welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast. Twitter's dead. Pikmin's fun. You playing some games, Donnie?
I am. Yep. I'm playing a lot of games, Rebecca. I've played a lot of things.
I'm feeling like there's some post-directed, not blues, but like before the show started, we were getting ready. We were talking about how it's a little bit of a slow news week, which is not so exciting, but we're both playing really fun things right now. So I feel like that's the good news part of it.
People are just playing games instead of reading the news. But there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of news out there in the Switch front, which makes sense after the Direct. But in general, I don't know how much at this point in the console with the announcements and the lineup, there's already, how many newsworthy things can we really expect for a while? I can't imagine a whole lot.
Yeah, I don't think so. Probably not. I think probably we're going to ride through the summer with not a whole lot. But I think a lot of the games that we're excited about are going to start to release. And I'm playing stuff.
I feel very at home with the kind of like that Wii U feeling. Like I remember this at least we don't think we have to do it for like 3 years. Like we did, like it did with the Wii U. It was just that way for a long, long time.
You hope it's not going to be 3 years. You don't know how much they're going to squeeze out of the.
I remember we were doing podcasts. We were like, Azure Striker Gunvolt was announced for Switch. That's the big,
that was the big
holiday game this year. I like this game.
No, one of my big anticipated releases just came out this past week. Actually, you said that you were playing a game for review, right? That you got a review code.
We reviewed AEW Fight Forever, the newest wrestling game for the AEW promotion that came out last Wednesday. We did a video review. We put it on YouTube. Delvin was the lead reviewer, but I was also playing alongside, so I got to serve as like the editorial. So I helped him work on his review, and then I helped him edit his review, and then we posted it. And then I followed all back up with the publisher and all that jazz. Devin is also got a review. They're in the reviewing spirit. They want to review more games, so they're working on stuff.
You didn't ask me for help on any of the writing or editing.
I just got it like that. I didn't even if I thought I needed help, I definitely would have asked for sure.
Wow. Okay. I see how it is.
So they are real excited about doing some reviews again. And they were like, do you think Rebecca wants to do some reviews? It's like, Rebecca would absolutely do reviews.
I would absolutely not want to do reviews. Absolutely.
I was like, if we got games that she wanted to do.
Not a chance. Not a freaking chance. Okay, Donnie, listen to me.
I particularly don't like
begrudgingly reviewing something right now. They had to get on their hands and knees and beg for me to review the game that I'm reviewing. They said, "Can you review this game? It's a Nintendo game." I said, I don't really want to. I don't really know much about the franchise. If you could get anybody else, give one of the smaller freelancers a chance. This is a big game. And they put it out there into the wavelengths. And, what happens when you lay off half of our writers is we don't have a lot of writers. And nobody, volunteered. And they came back and they're like, Rebecca, we really could please review this game for us. And I said, okay, because I'm a people pleaser, Donnie. I don't know how to say no.
It's an important life skill. One I'm very good at, actually. I feel like I excel at telling people no.
But the good news is I'm having a lot of fun with this game.
Good. That is a great.
The
that's
only
always
good
a
news
great
is,
thing.
it's like I would have been less inclined to say it's not everybody 1-2 switch. It's not that game. Oh, I would definitely say no to that one. I would not have said yes to that. The good news is this is the most time I've had for a review period in a long time. So that's like the only reason why I said yes.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like I can take my time. I don't need to
That's
play
good.
it in a week. I
Yeah.
have the time off because I'm not working. So I'm having a lot of fun.
Good.
It's a game that is highly anticipated. A lot of people are playing the demo. You might have played the demo to this game. I don't know. Not making any assumptions or anything. But what have you been playing, Donnie?
Well, I will shout out AEW Fight Forever since we didn't talk about it on this show because it is also available for Switch. I did not play it on Switch. I played it on PC. I did play it on Ally, and on Ally it runs incredibly well. I imagine this game is just fine on Switch. Like if you're holding out wanting on Switch, I imagine it's fine. Maybe a little blurry, but at the worst, I imagine it runs pretty well. And I liked it. We gave it 3 stars, 3 out of 5. I think that's a very good score for this game. I think the game has obvious, faults, both content and production wise. It's missing some characters, some roster. It's a little shallow on modes and stuff like that. So there's like some obvious flaws, but like the core loop of the game, like when you're actually just in the ring playing, is a lot of fun. It's fast, it's quick, it's very reminiscent of the wrestling games from the N64 era, which is exactly what they were trying to make. And we haven't had a game like that in like 30 years. And this is as close as we've gotten to that. So I dig it. I had a lot of fun with
Well,
it.
I feel like that's a niche that while it might not apply to everybody, not everybody might like that. I feel like there are a lot of people who are excited about that kind of thing. I have a lot of nostalgia for that type of game. Not wrestling, but the type of like N64 type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And they nail that part of it. I mean, it feels like you're playing WCW, NWO Revenge, or No Mercy. It feels right at home with those games. It honestly feels like it looks like a modern N64 game. It looks like if you took those tool sets of then and made a game today, like that's kind of what it would look like. Like it's a little more rounded, it's a little more polished, but still looks N64.
So you're saying it has the same art style as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet?
Am I? I don't think I'm saying that.
I'm making a joke.
Oh, I didn't get the joke.
Okay.
Sorry.
Never mind. Some people will appreciate my joke.
I had fun with it, and it was pretty good. I have played a demo. I've played a demo for Pikmin 4. I played...
See, chat appreciates my joke. They're all laughing at the joke.
I got nothing. Sorry, guys. I really dig Pikmin 4's demo. I didn't finish the whole thing. Okay, so here's how this worked.
The demo is very meaty.
Oh, yeah. It's not even... I mean, I guess, by definition, it's a demo, but it's just like the game. They're like, here's the game until a certain point. And I've seen people like, you could probably get there in like an hour, or you could get there in like 3 or 4 hours if you really want to. Like, there's a lot of things you can do in the demo. So I was going to play the demo. I downloaded it as soon as it was available. And I was like, all right, I'm going to check out the demo for Shaq. And then I'm going to get back into Zelda. Because I put Zelda off for like a week, and I wanted to get back into Zelda. Complete the demo. I didn't get to the final point. I probably will before release now. But I was like, I don't want to put too much time into this because I want to get back to Zelda. Like, I don't want to, like get too far along, knowing that the content will transfer over to the game. So I played for about an hour. Super hand-holdy, which... I mean, of course it is. Of course it is. Nintendo does this often. That's definitely a downside. But I was just like, oh my God, let me play the game already. Mm-hmm. Like, shut up. And then once you actually do get into playing the game, then it's much better and it kind of speeds up. But I mean, I don't know. I don't have like a long list of notes from a demo, but I'll just say that I think it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely enjoying, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like nostalgia or what, because I've never been like a Pikmin fan. I just really liked 3. but I just feel like this is hitting at like the right time for me. Like it's like the
Mhm.
timing is right. Like I'm in the mood for Pikmin. I don't
Feels like
have
a good summer game.
yeah, I don't have a whole lot that I'm juggling right now. So I was just kind of walking around, seeing the room, seeing the yard, like just checking stuff out, just really enjoying it. I was like, man, it's really
Yeah.
pretty. I'm really just having a good time. Like this is perfect. This is everything that I wanted Pikmin 4 to be.
I'm also playing Pikmin 4. I agree completely about the hand holding in the beginning. It's too much text, too much reading. I wish they would do more showing and not telling with the tutorial. Is just too much. And I know it does have some complicated mechanics if you're just starting out. I'm pretty new to Pikmin. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you might remember that I had a lot of anxiety playing Pikmin 3. And I think a lot of that was the time limit. I was afraid of like running out of days, running out of food. I know there's still the time limit in this one, but there's two things that I think make me feel better about it. Is like I don't feel like I'm like, you're not going to run out of food. You're not going to run out of like life. You're not going to lose the game and something horrible is going to happen. Also, the time stops when you're underground. And I love that because I can take my time. I can solve those puzzles.
Yeah.
I'm not freaked out by it. It also made me really anxious when the Pikmin died.
Still?
In Pikmin 3. No, in Pikmin 3.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, this is why I could not finish Pikmin 3. It's because I would get so freaked out by it. But this game has the rewind. It takes you back to your last save if you mess up. So I haven't used it yet because I haven't had any Pikmin die yet. But I
had
think
2 die
like,
and I just kept it moving.
Oh, no. No.
I
think that
oh, well.
If a really horrible tragedy were to occur, I could fix it and not be freaked out.
So you're going to play the entire game losing 0 Pikmin?
No, I didn't say that. I said
Okay.
sometimes Pikmin die of old age.
Because there's so many, you get so many Pikmin. They're so,
but they're
bountiful.
doing their best for you, Donnie. They're putting their life on the line.
I kind of wish it was more
stranger.
Man, if it was more like Cult of the Lamb, like if we do a Cult of the Lamb but Pikmin game, that'd be pretty awesome, actually.
It's so beautiful, such gorgeous environment.
Beautiful. It is.
I love it.
I didn't even dock it. I'm playing in handheld. I just played handheld.
I did both.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it plays well. Oh, it plays faster. I don't know. Maybe I hopefully Kevin will listen to this. He'll tell me. I'm not the Pikmin expert. I feel like it plays faster. I feel like the character moves faster. The Pikmin feel more responsive. They move faster. Like everything feels quicker than I remember. Like Pikmin used to be kind of not in a bad way, but just kind of like a slow, like kind of like a plodding, like a slog kind of a game. And I used to always think that was intentional because they want you to like take your time and really like draw it out. And this game just everything just felt a little bit zippier. I was like, oh, okay. That was like one of my first impressions.
I didn't think I was gonna like the dog Owachi.
Oh,
but I love Owachi. Is it Ochi
I thought it was
or Owachi?
Ochi. Yeah,
I think it is Ochi. I don't know why I'm reading it as Owachi. Ochi. Yes, I don't like that he doesn't have a nose, but I like that he only has 2 legs.
Yeah.
And I like that you can train him. Like it's kind of like a skill tree type of thing. Like every time you get pup power or whatever it's called, pup points, pup power, and then you can like put those into a skill for him to get better at. Oh, I love him. He's so good. And you can ride on him.
That's a game changer.
He digs. It's so good.
Yeah, that's actually a much needed, I think, gameplay enhancement. And maybe that's why I feel like it's faster.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And then the other thing that I really like that maybe also makes it feel faster is you can move your base to different. Was this a thing in I don't think it was a previous thing in Pikmin games where you can move your base throughout the level. I don't know.
It's been years. It's literally been years since I played Pikmin 3. It's been so long.
It's so convenient. So your Pikmin don't have to go and you have to find a path. Oh my gosh, it takes so much time.
Yeah. And I'm digging the, like the grounded Toy Story, Honey I Shrunk the Kids thing, which it's always had, but like it feels so much more familiar. Like I'm expecting like, to see like a mom walk across the background or something at any point, in a way that the other games haven't. So I'm digging that.
In the very beginning, when you start off in the house, I definitely thought there was going to be like a house cat or something come by and try to like swipe at you.
Ochi can get hurt. You can lose Ochi, G-Man.
Wait, does he die?
No, he just goes back to base and he'll respawn and come back. So when I first got in the first area, and I got my first like enemy, my very first impression, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be bad. There's no lock-on mechanic. I'm like trying to, because you have to like run around, and I'm moving the camera with the right stick, but I'm also supposed to jump and charge by holding the X button. I was like, you can't do both of those with one thumb at the same time. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a pain in the ass. And then I played for another 30 minutes, and they're like, here's how you log on. I was like, oh, well, that crisis averted. Why wasn't that sooner?
Yeah, I think because there's so many mechanics, they did spread it out. And I don't mind that part of it, like introducing the mechanics over the length of the tutorial instead of throwing it all at once. I just wish that it wasn't so much dialogue. Like I don't want to be reading that much in the beginning of the game. I want to play. I want to learn.
I agree.
Show me through the gameplay, not by text.
Yeah, somebody in chat was saying that it seems pretty basic to them, but I think as far as like Nintendo games go, like this is more on the complicated side. Not obviously not like Tears of the Kingdom, but if you compare it to like Yoshi and Mario, like there's just a lot happening here. And I definitely think there's like Nintendo designers that are scared that like the casual player will get lost and not know how to Pikmin. Like you can tell that's why there's so much hand holding. They're concerned. They don't think gamers can play like RTS game. Like,
it's also just like not fantastic game design either, because you have to consider kids who might not be at that reading level, or I feel like the best gameplay design teaches you through the gameplay, because you don't have to rely on reading English.
Games now they do like either like show and tell or like video examples. They'll cut and they'll show you like, hey, press this button, and they'll give you an idea of like, here's what this button does and things like that. But yeah, there's a lot of dialogue, and I don't know about, I can only speak for my own kids. Jack never reads anything. When dialogue pops up, that kid is just spamming through it. There's been so many times in my life where he's like, I don't know what to do with anything. I'm like, did you read? No. So as you're saying, yeah, even if they can read, that's not necessarily a really good way of teaching people anymore. Be better to have a damn TikTok pop up or something than that, because Jack's just like, I'll figure it out later. And then he's completely lost, has no idea where to go.
Need one of those little videos next to it on Minecraft where they're jumping over all the blocks while they explain it.
Yeah. Yep. Like his
Subway Surfers while they explain it.
His attention span is so small that he's just like, no, absolutely not. I have no time to read this 2 sentences. This is taking too long. So I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot.
I like finding all the sparkliums because they're always cool items.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been a thing. But yes.
From like a Game Boy SP to a baseball to a magnifying glass. Like, it's just really cool things to find.
It's just a chill game. Or at least it has always been to me. I've heard for years people like, oh man, I can't do Pikmin. It raises my blood
pressure. I don't know that I would
describe
it as chill.
Yeah, and to me, it's totally a chill game. It's just like I just kind of zone out. I can totally play this while I'm watching TV. I can just like hang out and like go around. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's a baseball. Let's go get that. But I throw Pikmin at enemies all the time. No thoughts.
But the cries.
Nothing. Yeah, remember I play a lot of like morality games on Evil, like Infamous and Fable. Like this, I'm all about it. I love Cult of the Lamb. Like, let's do it. So Pikmin are disposable. There's so many of them.
I think I care less when they're people, but they're Pikmin. They're not people.
Everybody in the chat disagrees with me. 100%.
Yeah.
Not chill.
Yeah, exactly. Can I tell you about the other game that I'm playing?
Sure, and then I'll tell you about the other game I'm playing.
Okay. I spent so many hours as a child playing Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. This was the only Harvest Moon game I ever played growing up. I love it very much. It was, I guess, my first farming sim, my first any kind of sim type game. It was very fun. And now they did a remake that just came out this week called Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, because we know that the Harvest Moon brand name is now Story of Seasons. The real Harvest Moon is now Story of Seasons, for those who don't know.
Is there a fake Harvest Moon?
Huh?
Is there a fake Harvest? You said a real.
Oh, you don't know about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, as opposed to what? What's the other?
So there are two. So the company, the original company, split, and one of them took the Harvest Moon name, and one of them is now called Story of Seasons. And so, like, the OG Harvest Moon is now Story of Seasons. It's just like this other branch of the company that is now using the Harvest Moon name. And the Harvest Moon games now, in modern times, suck. They're always bad. They're always awful. It's always the Story of Seasons games that are better quality.
That took me a minute because I was like, wait a minute, there's just 2 Harvest Moon games now. But you were like, oh, because the other ones suck. Got it. I'm up to speed.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I've only played like one play session so far of the remake. It is a ton of nostalgia. They made some changes to like some of the characters' names, like for various reasons. I don't love how the graphics look. I think they could have done a better job with that. And that's coming from me. I don't ever say that about graphics. I don't think it looks all that pretty in most cases, but they did make some really good changes. Like now you can either you can customize your character. You can play as either a girl or a boy. In this game, I played as a boy, and you could only marry one of 3 bachelorettes.
I remember this story.
But yeah. And so Celia was my girl and helped me realize some things about myself. And I love Celia. She is bae. But in this one, thankfully, I can be a girl and still marry my bae, Celia, who for some reason they changed her name to Cecilia. But that's okay. She's still Celia to me.
It's weird.
I really like this game because this was the first game that I've experienced where like a simulation game where things like you impact the game. So like if you choose to marry a certain character, that affects everyone else in the town. Like some characters might move out the following year depending on who you marry. Different characters might move in. Some characters die. Like it's the first game that I've ever experienced like that. So it's full of nostalgia to kind of go back and like see it with a fresh coat of paint. I'll probably pick it up every once in a while. It's like pretty quick to get through one in-game day. The in-game seasons only have 10 days. So like you can get through this game pretty quickly, but it's very fun. Yeah. They did come out like back in the day. There was like a second version of A Wonderful Life that they put out called Another Wonderful Life, where you could be a girl, but I didn't have that version. I had to be a boy. I was looking at
the art style. I was looking at clips of the game just to get an idea of what it looks like.
Yeah. I think it looks very unoriginal, the remake.
Like hard to pin down. Kind of like a mobile look to it. Like a modern PS2 game.
Like they really brightened up everything, but like I don't think it looks fantastic. But they did do a lot of quality of life changes with like the controls and
kind of
like
Pokemon.
Yeah. So it doesn't look visually pleasing, but it's the soundtrack's great, the character interactions are great. Like you can get like a lot of animals right off the bat, a lot of like just character interactions right off the bat. But I'll enjoy it. I'll pick it up every once in a while just for like nostalgia, if nothing else. Yeah, some of the characters do die like over the course of the years, like because you only have so many years before the game ends. Because you get married, you have a kid, your kid grows up, you influence what their career choices.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah, the animation was definitely lacking.
That's way more involved than I think I ever anticipated for games like that.
Yeah.
I'm learning something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. I had a lot of good memories of that game on the GameCube. So,
Cool.
So yeah, Story of Seasons and Pikmin is what I've been up to this week. Tell me about your other game.
My other game is the one that I finished. I'm done with Tears of the Kingdom.
What?
Yep.
What happened? That is so different than what we talked about.
I told you I wanted to get back into it. I was feeling the itch. I was like, I gotta get back to this. And I went and did the Lightning Temple, did the whole quest with Riju.
Yeah, what'd you think of that temple?
I agree with you on the side on the temple part of it, like the actual temple, the templing, like it's itself. I think is the best design. I don't particularly like the temples in this game, like overall, just in totality. There's a lot been said about that. I'm gonna push back with maybe a little hot take. I kind of think the Divine Beasts were better, like just design wise. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna quantify that statement. If you're not including, like, I'm just talking about the design of the temples. We're not including the lead up to the temples, like as a part of the whole thing, right? If you are, then I like these temples if you count the lead up. But just when you walk in the door of the temple and do the temple, these are not just, they're not particularly captivating at all. And I haven't really thought this out yet, so I don't know if I've really have formed thoughts on it. It's just not very, it's just bland. You know, like you walk in the door and they're like, hey, we need you to go unlock, hit these 4 switches. And it's like, at least with the Divine Beast, you were altering the environment to access those other switches. Like there was like a templing, like dungeoning that needed to happen. These are literally like, you just have to go to them.
I think you are having rose-tinted glasses for the Divine Beast because it really wasn't any different. It was like, I mean, you do some manipulating of the dungeons in this game too, where, you know, you have to, like in the Lightning Temple, aligning like the mirrors to get doors to open and things like that. Like you're shifting things around. That was basically what the Divine Beasts were.
The thing that I remember from
shift.
The thing that I remember from Breath of the Wild was like there was a couple, but I remember the one Divine Beast, and there's the elephant that had to have like the water. You had to like move the trunk and everything, and you would have these entire like switches that would move or alter the entire beast. So then you could access rooms. Like I remember I had to get on top and like float in from the top to get something after I set off a switch. It felt more connected. It felt bigger. It felt grander.
Yeah, but like you did all of that from your map. It felt weird to me that you could move the whole Divine Beast just from like your menu. Okay. It's like not like you were really changing anything in the I don't know.
I remember another one. I remember one the thing that sticks in my head is I remember having to alter it. Like I was in a room having to alter the Divine Beast perfectly so that like it would become like almost vertical that I could then float down to get the switch like in a certain way. And I just feel like that, like those sort of movements required more thinking, more critical thinking than anything that I've encountered with any of these dungeons. Is that actually is probably more it than anything else. I just don't think I'm really thinking all that hard in any of these dungeons.
I remember feeling very frustrated with the Divine Beasts. I'm not a very like spatial type of person where I can think about, okay, it needs to move and shift this way for me to enter. That really frustrated me. And also, if you plopped me in the middle of any of the Divine Beasts, I would not be able to tell you which of the 4 it was. Whereas
that's fair.
In the
that's
temples
totally
in
fair.
This one, I would.
No, that is spot on. I don't disagree with that statement at all. And I'm not like defending the Divine Beasts either. I don't think they're like particularly good. They're not like my favorite Zelda dungeons at all. And I think that's more or less anything else. Like I really wish that they were just like, can we just put Ocarina of Time's dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom and like call it a day?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that just be better? This is not good. Like this isn't better. This isn't, I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know.
I agree with that.
Just kind of boring. You know, it's just
like, I like the traditional dungeons better for sure. And that's what I wanted. That's really what I wanted the most.
I won't say anything that leads to spoilers, but I was doing a dungeon and I was frustrated with it. I was just like, dude, this sucks. Like, I was like, I don't want to do this. This takes too long. It's too boring. It's the same things that I've done in this game for 100 hours already. Like, I get it. I'm gonna make a stupid plane, get the damn thing. I'm like, oh my god. And I was really frustrated. Not like angry or anything. I don't want to oversell it, but like I was literally playing and I was just like, I'm tired of this. And I was like, this is not a good feeling to have. And then they switched it up on me and it totally changed. I was like, okay, this is 1,000 times better. This is way better.
This was after your 4 dungeons?
I will plead the 5th. Can I say that? Like, should I don't, are we in any territory to be anything spoilery at this point? Like, I feel like the rest of the world is done with Zelda already.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't say like
after the
super
4.
specific.
It's after the 4. I did something else and I was like, this sucks until it didn't suck. Like it sucked until it didn't suck. And then I was like, this is pretty awesome. And yeah. And so I did that because it was like the story and I was just digging Zelda, right? I'm back into Zelda. So I was like, all right, I know what needs to be done now. So before I go to the end, I just Googled. I was like, things to do in Tears of the Kingdom before you complete the game. And I got a list. It was like 15 item articles somebody written. I don't know who. And I had done like 13 of the 15 already. And I was like, okay, I guess it's time to beat the game. Because I don't particularly want to do this other thing. The other thing was like upgrade all of your armor and collect every armor set. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. So then I ventured off to beat the end. And yeah,
you went mute for me, and I don't know if it's me or you.
Ooh, chat, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rebecca? Can you hear me now?
Might be me. My cat's touching stuff on my keyboard. Hold on.
Okay, Spoka Joe says he can hear me.
Sorry. Apparently, chat can hear you. So, what the heck?
Interesting. Can you well, she can't hear me, so I can't even offer alternatives. I would have her like plug and unplug her microphone.
Okay, I hear you. I turned it off.
There we go. There we go.
I don't know what happened.
34-minute mark. All right. So
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I decided to go on and to the end of the game. And my first attempt was futile. I was so unprepared. I was so not ready.
Really?
So not ready. Just got wrecked. I was like, oh shit.
Even though you did all of those things,
I wasn't prepared.
Wow.
I do not have the gloom armor. I beat it without it. I beat it without it, but if you do have the armor, you need it. Like, it's helpful. What I did is I went and made.
I also heard you could do recipes.
I made like 100 gloom recipes. I was like, oh, this is not okay. And then I went on my second attempt, more prepared, and I was able to defeat the Demon King Ganon. And okay, again, spoiler free.
Don't tell me too much.
Spoiler free. I'm not going to say anything outside of this. It's fucking awesome. It's the best. It's so good. Like, it is so good. It crushes Breath of the Wild's final, like, insanely.
Thank God.
Exactly, because it sucked. And it's the best. I was blown away, mind blown. As I beat the game, as I beat the game, I was just like, oh, this was amazing. So
good. That might motivate me to beat it this week. Then I still have stuff I want to do. I want to upgrade some more of my armor. I want to, do some more shrines and, get more hearts and stamina and whatnot. I do have some of the gloom armor, thankfully. The only thing that I did in the game this week was build my house. And That was really fun. That was super cute.
It is fun. With that. Good moment. That was one of the things on the list. It was like, build a house. Like, I've already done that. Unlike the fairies, like, did that. Like,
the whole quest leading up to the house building was cute too. So
Game Master says the finale of Breath of the Wild was not a high bar to beat. No, it wasn't, but I think they set the bar. My favorite Zelda ending previously was Wind Waker, and I think this is better than that.
Ooh. Big
I don't think it's
statement
particularly
there.
close, to be honest with you.
Wow.
It's just the boss fight is so good. Like they really did the damn thing. Like it's like they're like, okay,
Okay.
are you ready for this? It's a whole thing.
Look, I'll do it this week, and we'll talk about it next week.
And it's better gameplay wise for sure. But even cinematically, it's right there with Wind Waker. And Wind Waker's ending is epic. It's great, and it's right there.
See, I was kind of waiting like until you were going to go do the end game stuff for me to go do the end game stuff. Last week I was ahead of you, and I did not know that this week you were going to go
what Jack said.
freaking beat the game. And so I was a little caught off guard here. So
I texted Jack a picture of the credit screen. Jack was like, "What?" Because last week
you hadn't beat the Lightning Temple.
Exactly. Last week he had already beaten the Lightning Temple when I was like, I hadn't even played it yet. He had already done that. And then I messaged him. And I was like, I just beat the game.
Caught me off guard here. I was like,
I did it
ready to take my time.
The last 2 days, I probably played it for 12 or 15 hours, I think.
Wow.
Like I really just kind of sank some time in, and it felt like time. Like when I was done, when I was done with the 4 dungeons and I started doing more of the story, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to move. Like I think I'm ready to progress now. It was that dungeon. I'm telling you that it was like that frustrating feeling. I was like, oh man, I'm getting tired of this.
Is it Hyrule Castle?
It's not. No.
Okay. Don't tell me anything.
Man, the run into Ganon is epic. The lead into the fight is epic. The fight is epic. The cutscenes after are epic. You're gonna love it.
I'm so excited.
Are going to love it.
I heard I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't particularly find anything touching like that, but I don't think I've ever been that close with a Zelda anything. I just thought Ganon
I'm
was
excited. I'll play
Ganon
this
was
week.
cool. I took so many screenshots, but the thing, so you take 1,000 screenshots, you're like, I can't share any of these without somebody being mad.
Yeah.
Even
I
like
still see
2
a lot
months
of people
later
that aren't done with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's tons that are. There may probably a bunch of people that never finish it. But I'm happy. I am happy I reached the end. It was good timing. I've cleared the decks for Pikmin, and I wasn't trying to do that at all. I was totally fine to just keep playing Zelda. It was that article. I reached the point where I got the quest for Ganon, and I was like, what else can I do? Like, what have I not done? And it's outside of just go collect a lot more stuff. Like I'd done Lorelyn and I'd done a lot of the side quests and stuff like that. I didn't go back. I never went back to do the village quests. I could go back.
Did you do all the pen quests?
Not all of them. I did a lot of them and I just got tired of doing them. But I wanted to go back to Kakariko and do those, and I just never did. I kept telling myself I would, and I don't know. I was never like compelled to actually do it, but now I can. Like maybe I'll go back and do some of that every now and again until DLC drops. But I wasn't like, when I looked it up, I was like wanting to beat the game. I was like, all right, this feels time. Like I feel ready. And then, so I wasn't going to like not do that to go do the Kakariko quest.
That's fair.
But yeah, I wasn't prepared. I was not ready.
Heads up.
And you should finish. I already had, I guess I can drop this hint to you, especially because we had a couple people in the chat that I saw that were like taking notes and taking hints. If you haven't done like the Josha quests in the depths, you need to. It'll save you a lot of time.
The Josha quest.
Is it Josha? Is that his name?
What was that? Did I do that?
That's below Pura. Like her little lookout is on the ground floor. The little guy's looking at the map, and the depths is telling you like about the statues. You don't have to. You could just YouTube it, but if you want to do it like the right way, you need to really kind of do that.
Is that the reward that you get the last rune thing, the last skill?
Yeah.
Ability?
Yeah.
Oh.
keep doing that.
I got that without doing the quest.
And you don't have to. Like I said, you could just YouTube it as well. Like that's totally
Okay.
fine. But
Okay.
if you don't want to YouTube it, you should do that. Because at first I was a little. I was like, okay, I got the quest, but I'm not really. And then I read, like again, pointing out Jack, right? Like I got the quest, and the quest, like the mark on the map was right where I was, and I was like, what? I don't know where to go. Where am I supposed to go? Where is this? And then I got into the quest log and was like, oh, I need to go. And then I was like, okay, I got it. So,
Yeah, I think I did all of that by mistake.
well, as long as if you've got it all done and you're finished, then you should be good.
I did a fight against, like I did like a boss fight down there. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I did that. That was like the first thing I did in the game.
Cool.
Without meaning to.
It's a great ending. Really
Cool.
good game. Solid game. I don't know how I feel about it overall. I think I loved it. I definitely did. It's my favorite game that I've played so far this year. But I think again, because it's not as novel as like Breath of the Wild was, it just seems to have hit a little bit differently than Breath of the Wild did. Doesn't stick with me as much, even for all of its like advancements. Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Like I said, I just beat it last night, so I hadn't really weighed in on my final thoughts on the game. You can save that for another day. But the ending was epic. It was awesome.
It motivates me to beat it this week, so I'll do that.
Have fun.
Shall we jump into the news of the week?
Let's do it.
I watched the Annapurna Direct
Me too.
because I wanted either Stray on Switch or a sequel or DLC to Stray.
So close.
Did not get either of those.
You did get Stray though.
Coming to Xbox.
Yay! Go Xbox.
No mention of Game Pass. I'm not going to replay it on Xbox. I want to play it on handheld.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I want DLC or a sequel.
Sure.
They did announce Thirsty Suitors. It's a skating adventure RPG.
Yeah. Yep. I forgot when you read the name. I was like, oh man, I don't remember any of these. And then it's the skating game. All these skating things, and you can like grind and stuff. And yeah, that looked pretty cool.
Okay. Cocoon gets a release date of September 29th. This was announced before. I have this on Fantasy Critic League, so I need it to be awesome.
How are you feeling?
Laura,
Feeling pretty confident on that one?
Huh? Oh,
Feeling
what?
confident on that one? Cocoon?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Lauralee and the Laser Eyes. It's a mystery puzzle game.
This is from Smogo, who did Sayonara Wild Hearts. And I love Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I have no idea really what to expect from this game. It's a pretty captivating trailer. Like, I was digging the trailer, but we'll see. Like, we will see. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably in on it just because I like Sayonara so much that I'm down to see whatever you're doing next. But I mean, this is very different, extremely different.
The big announcement of the Direct was Blade Runner 2033. It is the first game to be internally developed by Annapurna. Usually they just publish games.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Blade Runner, nor do I care about it, but that is exciting for Annapurna. They're one of my favorite publishers. What's that look for?
No, just damn, like I really like Blade Runner. So I
Oh,
was just
sorry.
like, damn.
Sorry to break your heart.
Yeah, it's announced coming to PC. Nobody knows when, and then they just said and consoles. So I imagine that if they're making a game, it'll run on Switch.
Maybe.
I imagine most of their business is done on Switch. So, but we'll find out.
You would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, non-Switch game Stray is coming to Xbox, and what's Lush Foil Photo Sim? Did that catch your eye?
It's different. It's weird. I mean, it was very beautiful, high quality assets, but yeah, it was like a photography game. I don't even know if you call it, it's an interactive experience, but if you're into like photography and things like that, like you should check it out. It was just off. It was just different. Unique. That's why I wrote it down.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very disappointed after that direct. Nothing
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Switch has been mentioned in the Activision case quite a bit this week.
Yeah.
The FTC is saying that well, wait, okay, hold on. This is not what I thought you were going to write. I started reading what I thought you were going to write, and then it wasn't that. According to a lot of the notes in the case, apparently the next Nintendo system is close to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One power-wise. I think that's coming from Microsoft's notes.
It's coming
if I
from
remember correctly.
Codec's testimony. That's what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am actually not surprised by this next one. Minecraft makes more revenue on Switch than on PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah.
That does not surprise me.
Yep, I agree.
Because I think a lot of kids like Minecraft and a lot of kids have the Switch.
Yep, I agree. I think, like, I'll just use my own kid as an example. Jack, I think he primarily plays on PC. Like, he plays on Chromebook and he plays on PC. But when he's like chilling in the bed or on the travel or something, he plays on the Switch because, yeah, most kids, he's got a Switch.
Yeah.
So,
I thought you were going to include, didn't the FTC also talk about how they don't see the Switch as a competitor to
They definitely did. Yeah, they're making a super hard
the other
case that the Switch is not a console. They're trying so hard.
They're
to
saying it's
get
not a
that
console.
across.
They're saying it's not a competitor, even though it is outsold both by like legions.
It's just egregious to even try and make that claim. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. The Switch, I mean, it's dumb on so many fronts. They've made a decent case. I understand the case they're trying to make. Like the argument they're making is sound, and I understand it. It's just dumb from the start. Like, it's like all you have to do is look at the legacy of the console market to have your answer. You're like, okay, maybe you say, well, the Switch isn't a high-end gaming console for Call of Duty. Okay. But look at the last 30 years of consoles and tell me that they don't compete with each other. Like, your argument is moot so quickly. I can throw it out the window. Like, okay, we get it. Maybe the Switch at this current place in time isn't a competitor for Call of Duty. They're about to release a new Switch, though. Who knows? Like, to make that like such a focal point of the case, off those grounds at this place in time just feels irresponsible. In my opinion, it's just dumb. And then look at the games that are sold on all three. I would love to have like a Venn diagram of here are all the games that are like the outside of the Venn diagram. The games that are only sold on these consoles would be so small compared to the middle that like these are the games that are on all three. There's thousands of those games, you know, like, of course they're consoles. Of course they compete with each other. It's some of this testimony and some of this stuff is ludicrous. Like, it is wild to see and hear some of the stuff that both sides, I'm not even picking a side, both sides are going for. Some of this stuff is absurd.
Absolutely.
I said on PSVG this week, there really feels like there needs to be like a gamer in the room, like an expert testimony of like an actual gamer to like translate and put some of the stuff into, like, because you just have a bunch of people that don't seemingly play anything about games trying to talk about games.
No, of course they haven't.
You know, like, there needs to be expert gaming.
They're a bunch
witness.
of old businessmen.
Yeah. They call to the stand Rebecca, expert gamer. Rebecca, do you consider the Nintendo Switch to be a console? Yeah, no shit.
Like, are we talking about the same topic? Of course. Yeah, I would rip my hair out if I was in that room.
Yarden says, is PS4 power good enough?
Yes. It's good enough at what it's at.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, I would probably put, I think my my Ally is probably like in PS4 territory. Which I understand people may not like want to hear that, because PS4 seems old, but you gotta remember it's a handheld. You take a PS4 Power and you put it in a handheld and you put it to 720p, and all of a sudden you're running a lot of games at like 60 frames and up. Like performance is really good, which is what I'm doing in the Ally, and it's incredible. This is what I expected. I don't know what other people were expecting. I think I said this when the Steam Deck came out. I don't think the Switch would be more powerful than the Steam Deck. That's a Steam Deck that's already out now. I doubt the Switch will be that strong.
I want them to release a new Steam Deck so I can buy it.
Yeah. I was thinking about that when you were talking about Stray. I was like, you really should get like a portable PC.
I don't want the current Steam Deck. I want a Steam Deck Pro or Steam Deck Slim, something that's a little bit more compact.
And you're just not at all interested in the Ally?
No.
Okay. Because it kind of is what that is. But yeah, I'm not surprised that they would peg the console kind of in that realm. We'll see. We will see. It is so cheap right now. Steam Deck is on sale.
I know, and I looked at that and I was really considering it, but I really don't need it. I have so much stuff to play. I don't need it.
But you can play Stray.
I don't like the bulkiness of it.
It is bulky. It's a
I don't.
boy. It's got trackpads. Get those damn trackpads, Rebecca.
Oh.
So good.
I don't like trackpads.
Well, then you need the Ally. What is your resistance? It glows. It's got glowy sticks. Good stuff.
You can play your Steam games on it?
Yeah, it's a PC. I can play everything on it. That actually,
What do you mean it's a PC?
It is a PC. Okay, let's do this. It is a PC, and this is what I mean.
How much did it cost?
All right. It is a PC. Like it runs Windows. Like when you boot it up, like this is Windows. Like anything you do on a computer, you can do on this. It runs Steam. I have Ubisoft. It runs EA, Rockstar. It runs everything, which is why I got this. This is why I prefer this over the Steam Deck. I'm not saying the Steam Deck is bad. Every time anybody mentions the Ally, Steam Deck people come out in force. Steam Deck's great, but you can't play everything on Steam on the Steam Deck. There's a lot of stuff on Steam that doesn't work. It's not compatible because Steam Deck runs on Linux, whereas this is Windows. So anything that you could play on your PC on Steam, you can play on this on Steam. Plus emulators and Xbox. Here's the other thing, Rebecca. This does Game Pass. You download the Game Pass app and download all of your Game Pass games and play it right there.
I hate that you're getting me to Google this right now. Ally? I can't even remember what it's $700?
I think it's $699, right? I didn't pay that much for mine.
How much did you pay?
I paid, I'll tell you. I got a coupon from Honey that saved me $100 off the top. And then I also had a $100 gift card. So out of pocket, I paid $500 for mine.
Oh, I have Honey coupons.
Yeah. I also have a Best Buy credit card. So I get rewards points too. Yeah, I mean, it's expensive. It's not, it's a PC. Like it is a PC. Its performance is slightly better than the Steam Deck as well. Battery life's a little worse though. Battery life on this thing is like 2 hours. It's not, you're not going you're not going very far. So if you're traveling, you need like a portable battery thing, or if you're just hanging around the house, you need to be around a wall outlet somewhere if you're going to play longer than 2 hours. It's not really bother me because I usually play on the couch in my chair. But
I'm gonna do some research.
Yeah, look it up. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but the things that you're describing, the reason I wouldn't even have said anything if you didn't describe what you wanted. You were like, I want a Pro, I want a Slim. It's like, it is both of those things. It is the Steam Deck Pro, and it is slimmer. It's lighter too. And it runs games a little better, and it's more compatible. Now, it's got its own, like everything, it's got its own faults and stuff too. One of the things that I'm having,
still trying to sell me on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, Yarden loves the Steam, and I love the Steam Deck too. Like the Steam Deck is a great console, and it's come a long way with support. Like there's the modding community have done so much for that thing, in making sure that other storefronts can run and emulators can run, things like that.
Big.
It is. It's a bulky
Heavy.
boy.
I have little tiny hands.
A little Harvest Moon only playing girl hands. A gamer girl.
I'm gonna do research. I don't need more games to play anyway.
Well, here's the beauty of it. The longer you wait, the more options you have. There is a bajillion like handheld PCs that are hitting the market. Like every month there's a new one and it's stronger than the last one and so on and so forth. So the longer you wait.
Yeah.
Now, Valve has said that there's not like a new Steam Deck coming. I think they said for like years. And that's recently. I think in the last 6 months or something, they were like, yeah, we're not having
they
another
want
Steam
you to
Deck.
buy they want you to buy the stock of what they have, and they want to sell more.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be kind of like an entry level to Steam. And I don't think they want to have like multiple SKUs and all that. They're taking a bath like on the Steam Deck as is. So yeah, I believe them at their word. I don't think we're having a new Steam Deck like next year. I think it'll be a while. You just hold out for the new Switch. Like that new Switch will probably be exactly what you're looking for.
Probably.
Yeah. To me, it was a big, like, honestly, it was Game Pass was the biggest reason I wanted this one was Game Pass.
Yeah.
Being able to run like my Ubisoft games and Battle.net, you know, like being play Call of Duty, like on the go.
It probably would be my Game Pass machine.
Yeah. It's great for that. Just being able to
because I have so
download it.
many Steam games. I have so many Steam and yeah.
Now, I'll say one more thing, just since we're talking about it, if anybody out there's listening. I don't think this applies to you at all. But the screen on this Ally has 120 hertz refresh rate, and it has VRR, which is like the things that like the new TVs have. And what that means is that games that run like below 60 get a really nice like smoothness like bump. Like it's really quite grand how good a game running at 45 frames a second feels on this little handheld. And likewise with something like Game Pass, if you stream the game, it's incredible. Like the streaming experience is way better than anything I've ever played on any Chromebook, iPad, phone, computer, anything I've ever played. The streaming experience on this handheld because of the screen is unparalleled. Playing GeForce Now, streaming Game Pass games, it feels like I'm running the game natively. Now I have great internet, so if you don't, it probably won't happen. But
I have great internet.
It's very nice to be able to play like a game that's 150 gigabytes instead of downloading it and waiting for it to download forever. Like just being able to press play and play it and not have any problems is a huge deal. I was like, this is excellent. This is great. But I will tell you this, Rebecca. So in case you start looking at it and you're like, you didn't tell me about this, I am having an issue, and a lot of people are, with the SD card slot. It's right next to the heatsink, and my SD card isn't like working half the time. So I'm basically running off of the internal SSD.
Well, that's bad. That's really bad.
They'll probably have to recall it or fix it or something. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Well, because how much storage does it come with?
512.
Okay, that's.
I'm replacing mine. I'm just going to fix it myself. I'm just going to replace it with a 2 terabyte. The SSD inside of it's real easy to swap. You literally just like unplug it and plug in a new one. So I'm just going to swap it out. But if you look online, that's what most people are. Most people are like furious. They're like, I want all of my money back, and I wanted a personal apology from Asus because the SSD. I'm like, okay, I get the SD card reader doesn't work, but like. That's an easy enough fix. It's like easy enough to get around. It's not that big of a damn issue. I felt the same way about Joy-Cons, right? It was like, oh, the Joy-Cons are terrible. I'm so angry. It's like, okay, I get it. You're mad, but like you could just replace the stick. Like you can fix that yourself. It's not that big of a deal. Not condoning it. You shouldn't have to, but if you're that angry, like you could just fix it though.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay, let's finish up the news of the week. Quick headlines. Pokemon Go dev Niantic is laying off 230 employees. They are also closing down one of their apps that they just opened in January.
Yep.
That's part of that thing. Pokemon Go revenue is the low revenue. Are we talking about?
I think it's player.
revenue?
Sorry, I could have been more specific.
Player
I think it's
base.
like their players. Yeah.
Yeah, lowest in its 5-year run. I'm not surprised. I fell off of Pokemon Go. It got too much, too many microtransactions, too many events I didn't care about, too much bulk. It doesn't feel like a simple app anymore when you open it.
I haven't opened in a long time.
Yeah. The Medium is out now on the Switch via the cloud.
I love that game. A lot of people don't. I do. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, hate that it's coming via the cloud. We're still doing this thing.
Neat. Red Dead Redemption was rated in Korea. This isn't Switch news.
I think it is. Though.
That's
I think it's
for
going
the
to come to
Switch?
Switch. I think it will. Yeah. You don't think so?
No. The first game?
Yeah, the first game, a remake. Red Dead Redemption remastered or remake. I'm maybe this is being hopeful. Maybe there's some hopium here. I'm thinking it's like the Grand Theft Auto remasters. And that they're gonna like remaster this game too, which may not be too exciting because those remasters weren't great, at least at launch. But yeah, I think if you're gonna re-release Red Dead Redemption, like I think you'd want a Switch copy. You want to try and get some of that Switch money, but we'll see.
I would 100% buy Red Dead Redemption on the Switch.
So good. Yeah, I would too.
I started that game and I liked what I played.
It's so much better than the second one. Yeah, I dig it.
Wild Card Football from Saber Interactive was announced.
I put this on here for you. Have you seen the trailer for this?
Absolutely not. I don't know what this is.
Saber Interactive is making a backyard football game. It's like 7-on-7 football, like with power-ups and arcade modes. They will have NFL players. Colin Kaepernick is the cover athlete.
I love him.
They have some crazy power-ups, like aliens land and zap people up into UFOs and shit. It was like, whoa, it's way more involved than like your first look at the trailer would seem to suggest. I think there's like I think you collect like wild cards, like your cards are the power-ups. They give you like random power-ups that you can play in the form of cards like whenever you want. I think it's like a kind of like a chess battle type thing around the football game. Comes out this October, I think.
Do we have a price?
Ooh, that is a good question, and I don't remember. I mean, they made like WWE 2K and the basketball 2K Playgrounds. Were those full? I don't think those were full price, but I don't remember a price.
I don't see one.
Yeah, I don't remember one. But yeah, if you're into that arcadey football thing that we used to have with like NFL Street or Blitz, or backyard football and things like that, this seems to be more into that realm. And yeah, it's coming to Switch.
Neat.
It'll be the first Switch game that has like an NFL player on it.
I will keep my eye on it if the price is right.
Cool.
The game of the year has released. Everybody 1-2 Switch released on June 30th, and I watched a stream of it, and it's awful. It looks so bad. I saw that you can upload any picture from your phone as your like picture in the game to like represent you, and people are putting on all sorts of inappropriate like penis.
Of course they are. Yeah, of course. It's the internet.
Yep. So that's funny. And then I
Funny
watched a couple
anecdote.
of the mini games. It looks not fun. It looks like hard to understand and very weird, like graphics put together that I could do a much better job. There's like this weird Photoshop of a bunch of kids together at like an ice cream store counter ready to place their orders. And like, I could do a much better job Photoshopping that.
Just cancel
It's bad. It's so bad.
Funny anecdote on the picture thing. So often in my line of business, we have to do things called like damage assessments. Like when storms or things happen, we have to account for the amount of damage that we have. And like with modern technology, like the Holy Grail has been like, oh, we'll just let the public do this for us. Like we'll send out a survey and they can send in pictures and we'll like put them on a map and stuff. And I had to like have a sit down with my boss and explain to him that that's why that's not a great idea. I was like, no, dude, you can't just put out like a link and be like, send me your pictures. I was like, dude, do you have any idea what's going to come?
Yeah.
Have you been on the internet?
Yeah.
He was like, people are really going to do that. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, there'll be more of that than what you're expecting. So not surprised even a little bit. 100%. That's exactly what 1-2-Switch would do. That's why games don't allow us to do that.
Yeah. Release it and get some money from it. And it's going to go away very quickly.
Yeah. You could tell that when they announced it like midnight, like in the middle of the night.
With no trailer.
Surprised they didn't announce it like via like Nintendo France or something. Like, just like keep it to like one territory.
You know, I'm surprised that they kept the 1-2-Switch name. I think they probably could have benefited from calling this anything else.
Just like a party game mix up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have it be something generic with no preconceived
Nintendo motion games
opinion. Yeah.
I think it's just a little sad that they put this out. It's so beneath them.
Yeah. All right. Hit us with some questions, Donnie.
First up is Yarden. He says, no pressure, but this question is a matter of life and death. If you were tier ranking all of the 2D Mario games, where would you put Super Mario Run?
It's one of the few 2D Mario games that I have played.
I think Super Mario Run is halfway decent. I don't have a list of all the 2D games in front of me, but I would imagine I'd put it somewhere in the middle. It's definitely not like the highlights of the franchise, but it's better than some of the older ones, I think. Like Super Mario Run was pretty good. For an automatic runner, like on mobile, I remember when I played it, I was like, I'm pretty impressed, actually. This is pretty decent.
I played a couple levels. It was fun. I had a good opinion of it.
Yeah. Matt writes, what's your favorite meal to cook at Tears of the Kingdom?
The one that gives me extra hearts.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either, but yeah, that's the one. I'm so glad that they have like the recipe thing. You just go into the recipe and click it. So I don't have to remember all the things anymore, but yeah, I do the same thing, whatever that one is. He also wants to know what we'd be grilling or cooking for the 4th of July.
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Dang.
Not participating.
Oh. I will be doing, I think we're going to do ribs, do ribs and sides and stuff.
If I go over to my parents' house, they cook for me non-beef options like a veggie burger or like a chicken hot dog or whatever.
Yeah. Kyle Pug says, what is your favorite Zelda game? Favorite dungeons from any Zelda game? Favorite Zelda from any Zelda game?
Okay. Favorite Zelda game is A Link to the Past. Favorite dungeons from any Zelda game are Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. Favorite Zelda from any Zelda game is Tears of the Kingdom.
Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time. Yeah, it's definitely Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Big one. G-Man says, what is something you enjoy about the 4th of July?
Nothing.
I would say it used to be fireworks until collective younger generations have like peer pressured people out of liking fireworks. So
I hate fireworks.
Everybody does. Yeah, I used to love fireworks, and now that's not a politically correct stance to have anymore. Everybody must hate fireworks. So I'm not shooting fireworks this year for the first time in like a decade.
Proud of you. progress.
It's not because of
Character
any
development.
reason. I gotta work. I work every 4th of July, and I just don't feel like it this year. I also, my kids are getting older. I just don't think they're as into it as they used to be. You know. I Can't See says, has anyone found a complete set of reputable Zelda amiibo cards? I have. He says, I asked about amiibo cards because I hear people are using them to get resources and get armor sets you'd otherwise have to go looking for. So I'll take this one. Yeah, I have a complete set of amiibo cards, and I have amiibo chips and coins, and I did respond to him in the Discord. Like, Etsy is your friend.
I didn't know there were amiibo cards that were not reputable. I thought you could just go online and order them and you get them.
Same. I mean, I've never had like a dud. I've never had a bad experience. Maybe there are. Like, I can imagine maybe there's someone out there trying to scam people. Like, maybe don't buy the cheapest thing you see. Right? Like, there's probably an easy way of making sure that's the case. But yeah, I mean, I have card sets and coin sets, chip sets. I love my little amiibo coins. They're very easy to carry around. It's very nice. But yeah, I love the little knockoff amiibo things. I think they're great. And yeah, you can scan them in the game using your amiibo power, and they drop materials, food, resources. You get armor sets, shields, swords. When I first started playing the game, I would and this is the same thing I did in Breath of the Wild, I would scan my amiibo like every day. And then eventually you get to a point where you have enough stuff where you don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't used them in like a month, but.
And I do appreciate that all the things you can get from them, you can find somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
They're not locked to the amiibo. I never really liked that. Even though I have all of the Zelda amiibo, I don't like that people who don't have the amiibo can't get them.
Same.
It's just a little bit faster. You don't have to go looking for them. And you can only scan it once a day, so you might not get the thing you want right away. Yeah. So keep that in mind.
And they don't they're not like in progression. So like you won't get like the headdress and then the armor set and that's not how it works. It's completely random. So you may get one piece of armor one day. You may not get another piece of armor for a week later. So yeah, you're at the will of the amiibo at that point. Yeah, the second question, he says, since we're getting a 2D Mario, do you think the time is right for a 2D Zelda?
Yes.
Sure. I mean, we just
give me 2D Zelda.
We just had a 3D Zelda. That's typically how it goes. Not always, but typically. I feel like, do you think, what's more likely? A new original 2D Zelda or a 2D Zelda remake?
I think a remake is more likely, but I want an original a lot more.
Yeah. And our last question for the show comes from Ghost Days, who wrote in this morning. Thank you so much. Why do you feel the graphics of the Super Nintendo and Game Boy Advance have held up so well when other systems' graphics have aged so poorly?
There is something timeless about the sprite art. I think that it doesn't. I feel like there's a peak to it, and because I feel like with 3D games they age poorly because they get nicer and nicer and nicer looking. Like, we thought that the GameCube had amazing realistic graphics, and then
the PS1, the PS2.
The next GameCube console generation came out, and it's like, oh, GameCube games looked very bad. And then, then the PS4 came out, then the PS5 came out. And like, it doesn't, there's different styles of pixel art, but even the most simple pixel art never really ages.
Well, the thing is, like, the peak of pixel art, like, if you think of it, like, technically is like the 2D HD pixel art. And that still just is like pixel art. It doesn't blow away like Super Nintendo pixel art in the way that you think of, like, I think the comparison you made is perfect, right? Like, you look at a game like Madden today, and you go look at Madden 99, and it's completely different. Whereas I could 100% understand somebody being, I prefer the old pixel art versus the new pixel art, because it's more stylistic and it's more kind of eye of the beholder. I also think it's more. We always use stylistic. I think this industry uses stylistic to represent a bunch of different things. I think it's more artistic There's just like a way more of an art design in pixel art that lends it to being timeless. It's like looking at a great painting, or a great comic. It works because it's not going for realism, right? With photorealism, you're always looking for definition and sharpness in better assets, and this isn't that. It's like a painting. It's the same reason why I like cell shaded. I believe same thing about cell shaded graphics.
Yeah, that does look nice. And I think any kind of, like you said, any kind of dedicated art style will always age better than something that's trying to look realistic or something that's trying to look
There's
real.
a reason that paintings from like 800 years ago still awesome. You still look at them.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
I agree.
I wish there was more. Apparently pixel art, I've never really got a good explanation as to why. But I've just always heard from people talking about it. It's very expensive. It's very expensive to do, which I find
Good
so hard to believe.
Pixel art
because,
is hard to do.
Like, for an entire era, the entire generation did it. And then they just didn't. And they just stopped. And they're like, well, it's really expensive. It's like, yeah, but you did it all the time. How could it be so expensive?
Because it's hard.
And I guess that's it. Like, maybe it's hard to find enough talent that can do it, I think is maybe what they're after. But it's like, it just feels juxtaposition. You hear often from now, like publishers or figureheads will talk about like how expensive it is to make a video game now. Right? We've been hearing that for so long. And I'm like, okay, well, just make them smaller, like make them shorter. Don't make them as big and grand, and you won't cost so much. And then I'm always thinking that in the back of my head, I'm like, why just don't more people make games like, in pixel art or cell shaded? Like, why don't they go for that?
I think because it's not as popular with the general public anymore.
Yeah, of course. That's ultimately, I'd rather them say that than being like, it's expensive. Because I was like, well, but it's not, like, it's clearly not too expensive. Like, you're making games that cost $100 million to make. Are you trying to tell me the pixel art costs that more? Like, clearly it's not too expensive. I would wish they would say that. People don't like these.
There is a beautiful pixel art game coming out this August called Sea of Stars. That if you are interested in timeless graphics, they are the best of the best.
I still haven't played the demo. I just don't think a game is gonna. I don't think it's for me. There's not a whole lot of appeal there.
It's just very beautiful to look at.
What kind of game would you? What's its like comp? What does it compare to? Like Final Fantasy or
Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I think you told me that already. I've never been particularly fond of Chrono Trigger either. So it's just not my kind of game.
You might not like it, but
it's coming to Game
I'll
Pass,
show you plenty of beautiful screenshots.
It is pretty. I've seen it. And it is very pretty. Did it come to Game Pass?
Probably.
I might take it for a test drive just for like an hour or something.
Yeah,
so I did it.
Do it.
I do that a lot with Game Pass. I'll just boot up something and just mess around with it for a little bit.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. It's kind of nice. Kind of have like a buffet or like a full demo fest. So
I think that's
cool.
it for our questions. Yarden said it is coming to Game Pass.
I thought so. Yeah, I thought I remember seeing that somewhere. I was like, that's pretty cool for a lot of people.
Now you got to try it.
Yeah, I probably will. I haven't played Chrono Trigger in so long. It is one of those. It is, again, I'm not into RPGs, so this should not come as a surprise to anybody, but I remember playing it, not being like particularly, like attached to it. And then like years later, hearing so many people like, this is my favorite game ever. And just, not understanding the connection. I'm just kind of on the outs, but I feel like that. I feel the same way about Final Fantasy. I feel that way just about RPGs in general. They're just not my kind of game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Those style of RPGs, I guess I should say.
That's fair. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this week, Koopalings. I'm going to beat Zelda this week.
I can't wait. To, like, you have to DM me. Like, I don't want to wait.
I will.
Weeks until we can talk about it or dance around it. Just DM me.
I
just
will
want to talk to you about it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe I'll beat it on stream today. I'll try to play it. I don't know. I'm trying to get away from Twitter now that it's dying. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm going to stream
ahead
a lot
of the
more
curve.
this summer. Yeah. What?
I said,
Oh,
I'm
you're
ahead
ahead
of the
by
curve.
being off of it. Yeah.
I saw
died
that
this
stuff
week.
yesterday. The Discord was
Yeah.
complaining about it, and they're sharing a tweet, and I was like, "What a mess! What an
It
absolute
sucks
mess!
because I
What
feel
is
like I've
going
built
on
up
over
such
there?"
a circle of people on Twitter and like so many good. I've done so many good things on there, and like it sucks that like one person can just come and ruin it all.
I agree. I miss it. I was a heavy Twitter user for years, like massive. Was doing all sorts of things and integrations, and I miss friends that I made there that I don't have access to elsewhere. Like I made I got a back of Facebook, but half of the people on Twitter that like they don't have Facebooks or they don't Discord, you know, and it just feels like, well, this is great. Like we've chatted for years and now we just don't get to chat anymore. like now we're just no longer friends because I got off and I hate that, but you know, it is, what are you going to do? But I hate seeing that it just burns down. I'm hoping that somebody throws him a life raft and offers to buy it. Like just sell it at this point. Just get rid of it. Even for a loss, just get rid of it. Just get out of the way. I don't know.
And then someone can slowly rebuild it.
I mean, but then at this point, like, why would you buy it? You could just easily make a clone of it and just do that instead.
The person who made Twitter made a clone Blue Sky, and it's invite only right now. But it's literally like the interface. The interface is exactly the same.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was like there's a TikTok to Vine thing that's easily done here, right? Yeah. Where you're like, well, they screwed that up, so here's the same thing.
And it's Jack Dorsey. It's the same guy who made
the same
Twitter.
guy.
It's like literally the same.
Yeah, so he's already ahead of the game. Well, maybe I didn't know that. Maybe I would look at Blue Sky one day.
Yeah,
like I'm not opposed to going back to it.
And it's slowly filling up with all the same people. So,
but I will say this: I've enjoyed, as the longer it's gotten off, I've enjoyed like using it less and being off of it. I really have.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and God, this is gonna sound so old of me. I can hear it ahead of time. I've just gotten back to like going to websites again, like actual websites. Like I'll just go read your blog, and I'm really speaking on a matter of like sports. Like half of my Twitter usage was like sports, and the other half was like video games, and I've replaced like all of that sports stuff just by going back to like forums and Reddit. I'm using Reddit, but really just blogs. Like I have a list of blogs again for my sports pages, just like I used to in 2009. I'm like, this is easy. I can just go click these when I want to read something. I don't have to sit there and have it aggregated to me via the Twitter machine.
True. I'm finding myself using TikTok more.
Same.
Twitter used to be the place where I would find all the latest breaking news, and now TikTok is where I'm finding all the latest breaking news.
I normally don't like involve TikTok like that, but like again, I've become a heavy TikTok user. I use TikTok constantly, every day. When my wife and I eat dinner, we put TikTok on the TV. Like we're watching TikTok instead of shows, instead of YouTube, instead of TV. We watch TikTok. We just throw TikTok on and laugh and eat dinner. We do it every day. So
I love that. I'm not ashamed to admit that I love TikTok.
Yeah, neither am I. No, it's great. I post some. If anybody out there, we've never really talked about it. I don't really do a great job plugging things. I take clips that Kyle the Pug makes, or like funny things that we say on the podcast and stuff, and I put them on my TikTok profile, or if we're reviewing games, or I do clips and stuff, and I throw that there. It's not like official like PSVG, like we're not like trying to make like a TikTok channel. I'm not trying to like make more content, but we do have like funny things over there. So when Rebecca does a funny moment, you're on there several times. We throw that up.
I did not even know that. I need to go check that out.
I didn't think anybody did, so I should mention that a little more often every now and again. So yeah, if you're into, you're like, oh, that sounds cool, I'd like to do that. Like, make sure you can follow me to get the hype. Like your Zelda commercial one, where you made the Zelda commercial. Like we did it's really good. Yeah.
Kyle's very good at taking clips. I appreciate.
Me too. Yeah, I definitely appreciate him. It makes it very easy for me because I can just go and download them and load them up. And then I do the same thing for PSVG when he adds the clips, or honestly, if we just have like a funny moment, I throw those up there too. We have the one from Sean and I with Carpool when I was over at Xbox Drive, talking about how they just need to make great video games, and then Phil Spencer saying that it's like they need to do more than just make video games. If you haven't seen that clip, it's very funny.
I will.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, very good. So, yeah, you can find me streaming on Twitch, I guess. Friends can add me on Discord. I'll be here every week. All right, that's going to do it, Koopalings. We will see you next week. Take care.
See you later. Whenever you're ready.
All right. This is Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening. And I forgot the line already. What?